Overall, my view of culture and society got better.
Really?
So yeah, it got a lot better. I mean, just working at big corporations, it's a lot of negativity, really, and and I had come to believe in my own head that that's just the way it was always, and it always had been that way. But once I started traveling and just meeting people in their just normal environments and stuff, then I found that people are they're just like everybody else.
There's a number of people who want to do full-time RV living to escape the corporate world, and that's true for the person you'll see in this interview. Now, he wanted to remain anonymous, so you don't see a view of him, and when I was doing the interview, I got kind of distracted in, so you'll see the camera kind of goes at some odd angles. But just listen to the interview, you'll hear it all, and it is interesting, it's short. Kind of wish I'd gone a little bit longer to figure out how much he really changed through the whole experience, but you do get some perspective on that. So I hope you enjoyed the interview, and if you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe so I can give you a whole lot more.
How long have you been full-timing in an RV? Or
I bought my first RV about 7 or 8 years ago, and my wife and I we decided we'd travel the country at that point. So we lived in it for the next 3 years, traveling back and forth across the United States, just seeing random things. So it's been pretty positive. It's been a lot of fun seeing all the different environments and the way people do stuff, slightly different in other places. So and how the infrastructure is set up. I'm one of the kind of the weird guys. I like to see how infrastructure works. But as far as just all the wonderful things that we get to see and travel and be comfortable in at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great.
What got you to start it in the first place?
Well, I got started in the first place because I wanted to get out of being an electrical engineer, and wanted to do something that was more fun.
Yeah.
And that's when I looked into going to RV school, and so I went down to RV school down in Florida, and then about halfway through the course, my wife and I decided, yeah, we're going to buy a fifth wheel, and so we took off from there, and that's when we started traveling back and forth across the United States for the next 3 years.
And did you get a chance to meet a lot of like-minded people during that time? Any sort of experiences there, or was it kind of isolating?
No, it wasn't isolating at all, because wherever we went, we just go to an RV park somewhere, and whether it was a KOA or some other kind, and then I put out a sandwich board for work and stuff. But so I'd always have lots of people coming over and talking to us, and a lot of the most fun I had was when I was down south in Alabama and Georgia, Florida, those kinds of areas, because they do a lot of off-roading kind of stuff, do a lot of mud bogs, and this enabled us to just drive over there and just camp right there. We could wake up first thing in the morning to the motorcycles and everything else going. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was the more challenging aspects of the whole experience?
The most challenging aspect is towing a big long trailer. So it's you have to plan your route a little bit differently. You have to pay attention to your overall height requirements, because that was something that we ran into. So there's apps out there that you can get that tell you, okay, well, you enter in how big your rig is, how long it is, and then it'll tell you, well, you could take these roads, or you want to avoid these roads because it's a low bridge or a rough road, or that kind of stuff. So it's a bit more detailed and a lot more helpful than just your standard Google Maps. You can end up anywhere.
And any epiphanies from being kind of outside the culture in certain respects, because it is a different lifestyle? Do you find you got a different view of culture, or what things come to
actually
mind?
Yeah, my view of culture and society got better.
Really?
So yeah, it got a lot better. I mean, just working at big corporations, there's a lot of negativity, really, and and I had come to believe in my own head that that's just the way it was always, and it always had been that way. But once I started traveling and just meeting people in their just normal environments and stuff, then I found that people they're just like everybody else. Everybody's just out to have a good time.
Yeah.
So it was very enlightening and very good for me to go out and meet all these new people.
So it kind of shook up your view of culture a bit and made it so you had more breathing room almost. With
so it helped me to believe more positive in a lot of how I thought people in general thought.
Yeah.
So
you stopped being full time for a bit.
Yeah.
What made you
So
stop?
yeah. The only reason we stopped being full time is because we were going to go down to Florida and stay with some friends, but we couldn't find anywhere to put the RV at that time, and so we decided we'd go to Baja California.
Oh, nice.
Mexico.
That's a sweet place to go.
Yeah, so we ended up down there, and we were down there for about a month, and then COVID started, and so we went up to a little town called Laredo, and we stayed there for the next 8 months, and decided we'd buy this property, and so now we have a spot down there too.
Yeah, sweet. So any recommendations or thoughts for somebody who might be considering going full-time and being part of that lifestyle? Is it something you would recommend to almost everybody, or are there certain things
it's up to every person. So it's if you're okay with to me it helps to be a little bit handy on stuff, so to know how to do general troubleshooting, so if your slide doesn't come in, know how to pull it in manually. Just make sure you go over like all your information and stuff, and make sure you know exactly how your coach works with and without power. Those make a big difference. Yeah.
They do make a big difference.
Yeah.
So generally just learn about your RV, and then what about just being out there? Any recommendations for making it a good experience versus avoiding some things to make it a bad experience? Or is there...
No, it's just everything's part of the experience. So just go out there and try stuff, see what happens. So like one of the things, the first thing I wanted to go see when we first started traveling is the world's largest ball of yarn in Missouri. That's all I wanted to go see. That was the only thing that was on my list. And then later on, I got to Cadillac Ranch and painted Cadillacs. There's a bunch of Cadillacs that are stood up on their noses.
The big field.
Yeah, in that big farmer field. Yeah, so going across the United States and running across all these different little things. Little hole in the walls. Wall drug. I don't know if you've heard of wall drug.
I've been to wall drug.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like 1 billion signs for like 800 miles.
Yeah, you can't miss.
Yeah, you cannot miss it. So
now I want to.
So yeah, exactly. So it's Wisconsin. Went there, and I forget the name of the town now, but it's got several amusement parks in there.
Yeah.
It has this great science center that's designed for kids, but I had a great time.
Yeah.
And then they had the White House upside down.
Oh, really?
They flipped the entire building and everything's upside down, so it's got alien stuff.
That's the way we are right now.
Yeah. So it's just the fun of just driving around and going, hey, that looks fun over there. Let's go over there, and just being able to just on a whim make a choice and just go with it.
So that was more like traveling about, and that RV experience was different than, let's say, stationary RV living. How would you compare the two, and what kind of...
So with the stationary, if you're just buying a camper just to have somewhere to live that's less expensive, more power to you. So it does make it a lot less expensive. If you're okay with living in a fifth wheel, the max size it can be is 430 square feet. So if you're okay with 430, go for it.
And your overall perspective from the way you approached full-time as you might approach it now, is it different, or you feel still pretty good about it?
I still like it quite a bit. Now, as opposed to traveling across the United States versus just using it as somewhere to live, there's stuff that I do as long as it's, if it's stationary, put a skirt around it. That helps on your heating and cooling quite a bit.
Yeah.
Use filters. Make sure you're using the water filters.
Oh yeah, water double.
Yeah.
Like do the usual and then do another bit.
If you can have one put in the rig, to where you have a canister filter, it's 1,000 times better than those ones that you can screw on.
Can someone use those full house water filters, or does it have to be RV specific, or can they just use whatever?
A filter's a filter. It doesn't care. Right, the water does not care where it's going. So it's like electricity. It doesn't matter. I can push it anywhere.
Well, thank you for answering all the questions. Any last thoughts on full timing and the whole bit?
Pay attention to your roof. Pay attention to your seals. Other than that, so have a good time. Yep. Regular maintenance. If you're not getting up on the roof, find somebody who'll get up there on that roof for you, because that's where all the problems start.